obrigado. Ok.
Yes.
Perfeito.
Okay. Are you? Can you see the screen? Everything? Okay. I want to know who are you? Very quick, and then we can start our class. Pablo already did like talk about him, and we can go. I will tell you whatever is in my screen here. Emmy, can you tell your name, where you're from, and your favorite instrument?
Hi, I'm Amy. I'm from DC. I'm in DC, and my favorite instrument is the accordion. Is that loud? I have to have name a percussion instrument. If I had to name a favorite percussion instrument, I would say the pandeiro is my favorite percussion instrument.
Okay, and Simeon.
Yeah, hi. Nice to meet you. My name is Simeon. I'm from Germany. I'm currently in Germany. My favorite instrument, I guess, is also the accordion. And yeah, that's it. And I used to be I was in DC until last November or something. So I was going to Pablo's concerts and so on. Yeah.
Yeah, just a quick word. Simeon was a very important member of the Faha dance community. And Faha in general, he was sort of the guy who helped like champion the community. So thank you very much for joining us, Simeon.
Thanks.
Willkommen.
Okay.
Macha, can you introduce yourself?
Yes.
And where you're from and favorite instrument?
Can everyone hear me?
Yes.
Oh, good, good. My name is Michal Colbert. I live in Washington, D.C., and my favorite instrument is the tambourine.
Yes. And Macha, can you tell? So Macha is from Vava Samba School and the Samba School here in DC. Can you tell very short about Vava? Two,
Yeah.
3 lines.
Sure. First of all, I am the president of Vava United School of Samba. It is a cultural arts organization that uses the samba to connect with the community. And we participate in a lot of community events, a lot of performance events, and try to really focus, the focus is on the community and to really orchestrate ourselves as a samba school in the model of the Brazilian samba in Brazil.
Thank you, Macha. And
Thank you.
next here is Mary.
My name is Rowan, and we live in the United States.
Oh, what state do we live in?
Oh, America.
Good. In what state? Starts with W.
Wisconsin.
And what's your favorite instrument nowadays?
The recorder.
He's been working in the recorder and he's very good at it. So he likes that a lot.
I can play a bit of 2 different songs.
Yeah, he's getting very good at it.
That's all.
And we showed them earlier my favorite instrument, which is his drum that he made, which is pretty awesome.
And I made another drum.
And another drum. That's the one I get to play.
And another drum.
We have lots of drums. Amazing what you can make into a drum.
Yes, very nice. And Bob. Bob, can you hear us? Okay, you go next, and Bob can introduce himself later. And Garo, I think it's this how to pronounce.
Hola, I'm from Rio, but living in DC. I'm not good in any instrument, but the one that I really like is pandeiro.
Ah, very good. And thank you for coming. And Bob, can you hear us? Okay, Sabina. Can you hear us? Okay. Julian, can you hear us? Can you introduce yourself?
Hi, I'm from Toronto, Ontario, and it's a pleasure to be here. I love the music. My favorite instrument is the djembe.
Oh, very nice.
Yeah, it's what I played, but I'm not very good. But I love to dance to drum music, whatever. It's just a phenomenal heart, body, spiritual experience. Thank you.
Thank you very much for coming. And next here in my screen is Joe. Joe Kenneth, can you hear us? Okay, let's go next. Familia da Cruz.
Hello, my name is Kristen. That's Baba. We're living in DC. I guess my favorite instrument is djembe or chimbao. What about you?
All of them.
Hi, Baba.
Then. Very good. Thank you. Thank you for coming. Leonardo, can you introduce yourself? We cannot. It's mood. Okay.
Leonardo. Yeah, I'm originally from Salvador, Bahia. Living in Florida right now.
Yeah, we trainer.
Yeah, and I was invited by Baba in.
Purchasing it, but good old Ozzy figured it out, did something.
Oh, maybe I can
Yeah,
share.
and favorite instrument, berimbau.
Very good. Very good.
Yeah.
So, let's see. Joe Kenneth, can you hear us? And Garo? Okay. So, I will...
André, você está um pouquinho baixo. Você e o Pablo estão um pouquinho baixo. Oh, you're coming a little bit low. I don't know. The other ones come very loud and you are coming low.
Okay, let me put a little bit more gain here. Can you hear me better now?
Yep.
Okay.
Thank you.
So, I will go with continue and I introduce myself. So, my name is André and I play percussion the last, I don't know, 15 years, 20 years, something like this. I cannot tell exactly when I start, but it's about 15, 20 years. And I play with many groups in Rio de Janeiro, my hometown. And my favorite instrument is pandeiro, but I play many others, and I also to play different instruments. Sometimes change in my preference, but pandeiro is something like it's always the first. And I play here with Pablo, with different singers like Cissa Paz and JP Silva when he came for Carnival last year, and Julie Mac, and so with different Rafael Pondé, and with Vava also. And I moved to DC area. I live in Alexandria, Virginia, in September in 2019, and so I am here playing and with my family, my daughter, my wife, and I'm happy to see all of you here. Okay, let's continue. Samba. We'll talk about samba, specific today about the samba of the samba schools and the bateria. Bateria is the percussion group of the samba school that give the rhythm for the samba school, do the parade. And before in the late 80s and early 90s, we start some movement of ranchos, blocos, and groups. They play kind of different of music. Marcha is another very traditional rhythm for carnival. And in the early 90s, the samba schools start with Deixa Falar. It's one samba school from where my family is from the neighborhood. The name is Estácio. And this one group of people, they decide to change a little bit what was people was playing in these groups, blocos and ranchos before, and they changed a little bit the clave, and with this modification they kind of start what we know as samba, the rhythm. Samba, of course, there is samba from Bahia, there is samba from São Paulo, there is from Minas Gerais. There is kind of different of types of samba, but this name samba school and this kind of type of samba we are used to listen, and this is samba is from the it started in the early 90s in this neighborhood Estácio with one samba school. The name is Deixa Falar. And why samba school? Because over there in this neighborhood they have one school where they like people study to be a teacher, and they say, if the teachers came from here, we are the teachers from of samba, and they start with samba school, and this is the name samba school, escola de samba in Portuguese. Okay, so what you in general see on the TV videos or ever is this. This is the one carro alegórico. This is the car that people make for represent the theme of the year of what the samba school is talking about. And this is Estácio, my school, and where my family is from. And this place is Sambódromo. So the city council construct this place to organize the samba school parade. Before was in this other street that you can see the photos in black and white. This other street, the name is Presidente Vargas, and before was over there. They need to mount everything and unmount, and it take time, and it create one a lot of problems in the downtown of the city to mount everything and unmount. So they construct some bottom because of this. And then we'll talk about the Escola de Samba traditional instruments. And I will go with all of them. I'll talk very short, a little bit of the characteristics, and I can show you some of the instruments. I don't have all here, sorry, but I have a lot of them, and I can show you different things, very basic, how we play in the samba school. And so I will play a little bit, you can listen, and you can maybe like, I like this instrument specific, I wanna learn this instrument. And there is many ways to learn. Now on YouTube you have a lot of videos. We have people like teaching these instruments around most of the states, most of the areas here in United States too. And we probably will start with EducArte too, some classes, and we had this plan for the next month. Now with COVID we'll probably start online, and then when it's safe to get together we will be together, like practicing, learning different instruments. Today I will show you a little bit, and you can like, I like this idea, I like this idea, how we use and why we use some instruments in the rhythm and in the organization of the bateria. Bateria is the band, the percussion group, okay? I will tell bateria always. So one bateria is when you see in Sambódromo is like this. This one I screenshot from one video, and people are organized like in lines, and there is many people with kind of different instruments, and there is one master, we call mestre de bateria, and there is one corridor in the middle where we have like the directors, and they are who help the master to organize everyone to play the same thing in the same moment and stop and continue in the same time. So it's huge, it's difficult. We have 300 musicians in some schools, and I never conduct any school or bateria with so many. I conduct in Carmelitas one bloco, one street band, with other directors, 120 musicians, and it was very difficult. And everyone need to do the same thing the same time. And so I'll show you how is the organization. There is one here. I think it's easy to understand. And here we can see like the small instruments. Some instruments are more representative, the first line down. And then you see cuíca is another type of instrument. In general, the organization is like this, can be different a little bit. And tamborim, chocalho, and then we call marcação pesada or instrument pesado. Pesado is heavy. It's who like do the bass of the rhythm most of the time. It's surdo. We have 3 types of surdo. I will show you everything. I'm talking now only to you understand the organization. And caixa ou tarol and repique. And today we have another type of instruments also, repique more. It's another type of instrument. Many schools are using now. We have agogô in another schools. In general, is in the front lines too. And frigideira in some schools. I'll show you the picture of all of these instruments and talk a little bit about them. Okay, so surdo, first and second. This surdo they do like samba is binary. It's like 4x4, and you have this doing the rhythm, like the bass of the rhythm. They do 1 and 2, 1 and 2, and when you are playing like 1, 2, 3, 4, and this always will give like the beat of the music. And we call the first that give the first beat, and second the surdo that give the second beat. And when you listen samba, I will vocalize everything here and you can understand better. We listen like pom bam pom bam. One is more low the tune, and the other one is a little bit high the tune, and so always you listen something like pom bam pom bam pom bam. And these surdos are first and second, and they are big in general, like you have like 22 inches and 20 inches. The second is a little bit smaller than the first in general. And in almost all of the schools, only Mocidade they have the opposite. And when they play like the second first and the first second. It's pam pum pam pum pam pum. Mocidade you listen the opposite. And surdo de terceira. What's surdo de terceira? This surdo is terceira story. Give the balance and what's the fun, and because it's not something like martial rhythm, you need like balance, because samba is part of samba, and you listen the first and the second bum 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 bum, and the third will do like bum 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 bum. Give some balance in the rhythm. Caixa e tarol. Caixa e tarol, the difference is one is tarol is narrow and caixa is a little bit large. And tarol you play or here you put here in your armpit and play, and or I'll show you, or you play here. In caixa you can do both. You can do or in the top, we call em cima in the top, or down embaixo with some belt. Okay, I'll show you how are the two types. And repique. Repique, some people call small surdo, and this repique is the traditional one. Very all of the schools have this kind of repique. They give like some sound more high. It's high frequency more, and you you see also the repique doing what we call chamada. Chamada is they play some rhythm, and then all of the bateria will start playing when they finish this what we call chamada. Okay, and it's very important for the rhythm too, like surdo de terceira. Tamborim. Tamborim is this small instrument, and here you they play in the samba school with this drumstick that is flexible. It's like some type of plastic, and this guy in the photo is who creates this instrument and for the samba school, and they play very different, and now they play like the 60s notes in the samba also with the repique. I will show you. Chocalho. Chocalho also play the 60s note, and it's one instrument like it's shaker. This is the one people use in the samba school. I don't have one here, but it's the same idea of one chocalho, one shaker, regular, and they play also the 60s note. I'll show you. I will show you one audio with these instruments I don't have here. And cuíca. This instrument you use the friction of one fabric wet in one small stick that are attached to the skin and make one very characteristic sound. I will show you the sound. You can listen in a little bit. And agogô is some bells, and these four bells are the most traditional one. Starting Império Serrano, today most of the schools have, and they have like notes, and the samba schools use different notes and different ways to play. Not everyone play the same thing. And then three different instruments that it's not so common you see. Now repique more, it's very common, but it's not something like you would see like 10 years ago in the samba schools, okay? Just in one school or other school. Now, most of the schools have like repique more. Frigideira, beija-flor is one big samba school. It's very traditional with this kind of instrument. And timbal, mangueira is very traditional with also this type of instrument. It's the same one they use in Bahia for different rhythms. It's very famous in Bahia. They use a lot for rhythms in Bahia, and they use in Mangueira, also the samba school here in Rio, my hometown. Afoxé, you maybe will see in the front of the bateria somebody playing. It's more like scenic. It's not. Of course, you will listen if you are close the rhythm, but you have 300 musicians playing. You cannot listen like far away. Otherwise, only if the person has one microphone close. Prato, Mangueira has also prato, this type of prato, and they play in like martial bands, and they have kind of 10 or 12, and you can see also in other schools one person in the front playing, just more scenic. And pandeiro is this instrument here, and people play also the same way. It's more scenic than for the rhythm, and also they use for do like Pablo, como é malabarismo?
Like acrobatic moves.
Yes, and they like rotating the fingers, something like this, and they stay like rotating hours and hours. And the passista is the one group of dancers. In general, are dance, and they has one guy with this pandeiro. It's scenic too. Okay, so this is my reference. I will ask Pablo to send you in the end of the workshop, And so let's go through the instruments. Let me stop here, put this chair to the side. Cheers. I already told everyone in general when I am teaching, I don't drink, but today's carnival. You are welcome to get one drink too. Okay. I'll show you. I put here in the sound a little bit of these instruments I talk about. Just you listen how it is. I hope you tell me if you listen. I'll start with chocalho. Very short, 30 seconds. Can you listen? Let me share and I can put here what instrument I am talking about. This was chocalho. This one, okay? And then cuíca. É um instrumento. Ok, repique more. So, and timbal. You can listen the prato too in the back. So, and frigideira. I have one here I can show you. Okay. So this is the instrument.
So, Andre, can I ask a question?
Yes.
So the frigideira was a frying pan, right? That people used to cook. They play an actual cooking instrument.
Yes. So in general they make for play these ones, but before they use the pan. it's the frying pan. It's one small one. This one are made for play. The father of my godmother gave it to me. Like it's one thing very important for me. He passed away like 20 years ago, and he gave to me this one he made by hand. It's handmade, and it's some instruments very important for me. Okay, let's go to the let's stop.
And I'm sorry, can I ask?
Okay.
Is that a metal? It has a metal tip on the.
They play with one flexible
like that
with one metal in the edge in
the tip.
And they play like this. It's very fast, and this is why they use the metal one for the flexible one to play, not one drumstick like wood one, because it's hard to play. In general, when I play like roda de samba with groups and when I record, I play with the wood one. This is the sound, but when you play in the samba school, you need to play very fast, and they use They play in this way. I'm not actually, I don't play in samba school style this instrument. Okay, let's first thing first, surdo. Can you see? Yes, let's put a little bit down here. And let's go. Surdo. It's natural skin, this instrument I have. They have like also synthetic skin, but in samba school traditional one is natural skin. And I use the same surdo to play the 3-1s because I don't have the 3-1s with different size. But have in mind, in general it's bigger than this. It's like 22 inches, the first 20, the second, and can be 18 like this one, or 16, the third. And Mangueira, the samba school, the name Mangueira, have one they call more. It's 14, it's very small. And they play a little bit different. I'll show you in a little bit. But let's talk about Primeira. The Primeira will play like the first beat. And when the bateria are playing, the Primeira will play like 1, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. And when we finish, we have like we call termination, and it's all of the instruments do the like caixa, repique, tamborim do one tacaragata, and the surdos do 2 hits, dum dum. It's first and set, tacaragata, dum dum. This is for start and for finish in general in the samba school. Okay, and pagaragata. Almost all of the schools have 2 surdos, first and second. Mangueira use only one. So if you listen Mangueira in the on YouTube or on one recorded, you listen like something just chagaragacha. You don't listen the second one, okay? And Mocidade, I told you they tune the opposite. So you listen this thing in the second, the more bass, okay? I will tune a little bit higher the surdo, and I will explain. So we was listening like pum pa, and now we do the opposite. Pum 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 dois. And with the termination we will be like pagaragata pagaragata pa pum pa pum pa pum pa pum pa. Okay, so segunda is the second beat. You listen pagaragata pum tagaragata tagaragata and this is the difference between the first and the second surdo. One is lower the tune and one is higher a little bit, and you having this. So for third,
André, can I ask a question?
yes.
Do you sometimes tune the surdo drums to a certain like a note, to like a do or a C?
Okay,
Or
can be because you can like, but I never in 20 years I never saw anybody tune in this way. In general, in the samba schools, they have one person who like tune the surdos for all of the school. This person, but by ear, not by any machine. He like, I know the sound of the surdos and I know how I wanna these surdos be, and it's 20, 30 surdos and 40 surdos, depending on the size of the bateria. And this person is responsible, and it's one of the directors. It's responsible for all of the tuning of surdos. In general, all of the samba schools has, and some samba schools like they hire one guy for do this for like 3, 4, 5 schools because he's so good. The surdo sounds so good that people hire one person that are the specialist on it. But this is something like for big schools, for the small schools, for blocos, for the street bands. In general, the master and 1 or 2 directors they tune. I tune a lot surdos in Carmelitas.
And for the very big schools, do the most of the people who play, do they keep the instruments at home or they leave them in the samba school and only play
Good
there?
question. They in the samba schools, the big ones, most of the people, also the small ones, most of the people use the instrument from the school. It's very rare you see somebody like bringing their own instrument. Okay. Besides chocalho, tamborim, and cuíca. So repique, caixa, and surdo, they are big. You kind of keep in the school, and they go in trucks to the place where will be the parade. Okay. So the third surdo, it's way higher than the first and the second, and you listen like boom boom. So we'll be like boom boom. This is the very basic way they play. A lot of schools play the same way. We call 1, 2, 3. It's 1 and 2 and 3. So 1, 2, 3. I will show you. I put one audio here with the 3 surdos. This is Thalita Santos, one channel on YouTube. I can put on the comments in a little bit.
Andre.
Yes.
Could you describe what beat the third pseudo comes in on? Like, for example, does it come on beat 1, or does it come on the second pseudo beat or the first pseudo beat? In order to start the rhythm.
Okay, I will show you when start. Let me just go here in the it's not here. My files. Okay. So when has this like the beginning or the end, like they go with the first one. And the second is alone, like boom boom. And the third surdo will go with the first one. Boom boom. And then the third surdo do one looping. It's dum. And then they start the 1, 2, 3. So, and in the end, go with the first 2. And you are playing. You finish also with the first, okay? And always when you do like this looping, we call virada. When you do the virada, and this beginning and end, or in the middle of the song for change the first part to the second part, we do virada. In general, the sign is 1 or 2 or 3, depends of what the bateria do. And so the third surdo go with the first. And I'll show you the 3 surdos playing together here. three surdos that are playing together, you will listen this way. Okay, let's go to the next instrument. Caixa. So, people in general had one belt like this, and they connect the instrument and play with the drumsticks. Caixa, there is different ways to play. Different samba schools play in different ways. Portela, traditional school, Mangueira, Império Serrano, Unidos da Tijuca, they play kind of one little variation of the same thing, and I'll show you the Portela one. When you have this virada, this beginning, this instrument this instrument will do like the tum 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 tum, and then the other instrument, the surdos, will do the tum tum. Okay, and these small instruments like caixa, repique, tamborim, chocalho, and they will do like tum tum. And so caixa, the very basic one is the one we call the 60s notes. So you have like strong in the 1 and 4, and 2 and 3 are soft, and you do like. So 1 and 4 are strong, and 2 and 3 are soft. And and so this is the basic one. Who plays this? Is Unidos da Tijuca. Oh, Unidos da Tijuca no. Vila Isabel is one samba school in Rio. They play with this way and in cima. I will show you how it's in cima. But let's keep in the embaixo. It's the 60s note. Okay, Portela. Portela, the difference of the Portela and the other schools with the second way I will show you is when they do like tagaragata tum tum, Portela start different, a little bit different. They start the rhythm with one rufo. Rufo is this, and they do like. Mangueira, they don't start like. They don't do this, they do like. They hit first, they do not do the rufo first. This is the only difference. There is a small difference like how they tune the instrument, but the way to play is basic this. There is other samba school, Mocidade. They play a little bit different, and it's more difficult. If you don't play in general, you get tired because you use a lot of the left hand, and they play like. And if you think it looks like samba reggae, it's not the same thing. It looks like samba reggae, what they play in Bahia in general. And these are the three ways most common you see people playing caixa embaixo. And when we talk about caixa em cima, or tarol, here's good. You see people play with one drumstick like long and one is small. So it will be one long, one small, and you put the drum here and you play what we call partido alto. This rhythm came from pandeiro. Pandeiro, this instrument, famous. So we have one rhythm that we call partido alto. So this way to play caixa came from this rhythm. Is I use a small drumstick because I am in the otherwise my neighbors will kill me. You play like. This is the way to play caixa em cima.
Yeah. André, I have a question.
Yes.
If you play in cima, do those people do they lose their hearing early?
Yes, I lose my hearing.
You do?
I already lose. I can show you my exam.
Really? Wow.
Yes, it's true. But what I do is the last 5 years I use earplugs when I play. That doesn't matter if I play like embaixo, em cima, or different groups. Just when I play like with few musicians, no. But when I play with bateria, with more than 20 musicians, I use earplugs. This is one tip for everyone who plays and wanna protect their ears. So the other instrument, repique. Let me do something first. And you can understand the caixa. In you can cheers. You can understand the caixa with the surdos. I will play the portela away and I will put the surdos again. So the caixa will play here. caixa and the surdos playing together.
That was cool. Thank you.
Thank you. So, when the samba starts, you see in the TV like the singer is like saying like we call grito de guerra, war, screaming, and it's like let's go, let's win this competition, and that's it, and we thank you everyone to be here, and this and that, blah 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 blah, and then he will start singing. When he starts singing, in general the instruments, it's like few instruments around him just to give the rhythm. In general, is one surdo de terceira doing what we call pedal, and it's this, just like give the rhythm. You probably saw on the TV, and it will be one caixa next playing whatever way they play, and sometimes one repique, but the basic one is caixa. And this is some trick good to play when you are playing surdo. When you are playing primeira or segunda, you see many people doing this when they play, rotating the drumstick. But I always talk about pedal. Pedal is this. They only do like the bass of the rhythm they start before the bateria. Every 300 musicians start playing. All of these small instruments will give the rhythm, and then everyone go and start playing. Everyone go and start playing in together, okay? And they go until the end of the parade. I will talk about tamborim, and they will put one example of pedal. It's this this kind of way to keep the rhythm with few instruments. This is what you listen in the beginning, and the singer will sing whatever. I'll have one looping here of this, and the singer will be like, explode coração na maior felicidade. And the master will do the side for start. Contagiando e sacudindo essa, and all of the bateria will go together. Okay? So let me talk about tamborim. Tamborim is small instrument, very loud, very loud. You have like, so let me tell you the numbers. Do you remember in the picture I show you? It was big number of surdos, caixa, repique. It's like 30 surdos and 80 caixas and 20 tambourines, because this small instrument is very loud. So your neighbors won't like you if you play late at night this instrument, if you practice. But you have ways to do. You put one sponge here inside, you put one t-shirt here inside, and you play, or you play with the back of the instrument, or you put the finger to like. But let me tell you, this instrument, in the first part of the samba, they do the 60 notes, like 1, 2, 3, 4. They do this. And the second part of the samba, in general, they do something that all of the group do together. It's different almost every year, and it's the second part when the samba get more calm, like it's kind of calm to go up again in the main part of the samba and start again the song, because the samba they sing in looping. So when they finish, they start again, and finish and start again. In general, the structure is main part, first, and they have one second main part, and the second part of the samba, and then the first bass is this. There is different ways to do. Sometimes they do different. They have only one main part. They don't have the second part, but this is the way in general they do. But let's talk about the instrument. And this instrument will do like the beginning, the virada, and when start, we do one thing with the instrument we call subida. So it's tagaragata, tum dum, and the instrument will do. And then we'll count like 4 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, and start playing until the second part. Can do some variation, but in general this is the way more traditional to play. Like they go and play this what they call carreteiro. Carreteiro is this movement. They play the carreteiro in the first part of the samba, and then the second part they do one thing. And the more most basic one we call teleco-teco. It's and then they go to the main part again. So this instrument, this is the way they play in the bateria. So let's review. We have the first surdo doing the first beat, boom, boom, and the second one answer, boom, 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 and the third one doing the bass, bum 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 bum, and the caixa will come to doing the rhythm. And the repique I'll show you will do the rhythm too, and the tamborim in the first part will help in the rhythm just, and the second part will do some different thing. Can do like or can do something with the melody. So, and you go and loop in this thing. So, this is 3 examples of simple things they can do in the second part of the samba, okay? And
Andre, I have
yes.
a question. So some samba songs, when we listen to them, they're very complex rhythms for each, for the tamborim and for different, especially tamborim. How do when you have 20 tamborim players, how do they memorize these complex patterns? Do they have like a book? Do they read it? Do they memorize it? How does it work?
Good question. So I will drink one. So one sip before answer this. We memorize, and I drink the sip because many times in carnival people are drunk and they forget, or they have by heart. Many times they have like by heart. You play so many. Pablo, some samba schools, like big schools, Mangueira, Salgueiro, Portela, Vila Isabel, they start practicing July to the carnival in February. They have half year to practice, and they practice once, twice a week in July, August, and when it's like November, December, and January, they have like 3 times practice per week. So people, it's by you have in your blood, like you know, and sometimes you know like 10 years after you play the same thing. And let me tell you, many musicians they play in more than one school. If they play tambourine in 3 schools or in 14 schools, I know people that play in 10 schools, 10. They memorize for all of the schools. Okay, So this is something you memorize. And another thing is I will tell you, 99% of the musicians in the bateria, not 98%, because some people like music and they actually go to the bateria. 98% of the musicians that play bateria don't have any music formation, like theory. They don't study anything before. They learn how to play this instrument or many instruments, but they learn and they play in the street, in carnival. They practice, and this is the most common way to people learn instruments in Brazil. Like I never went. Actually, I went to school, but I went when I already knew how to play. I went to learn and be better to play some kind of different types of music that you have like to read a little bit to play. But percussion, for other instruments, cavaquinho, violão, many people have like a basic music formation. They know how to read music a little bit in general. Okay, but for bateria, if you have 300, you see like 6, 7 that some basic skills of music. The rest is, and let me tell you also, most of the directors, the master de bateria, also do not have. It is changing now. Okay, you have like the Salgueiro, the two masters of Salgueiro. They know the music theory, and they play with Dana in New York from Halle Samba. They came. I saw videos. The two masters of Salgueiro with Dana in New York, and they learn music not in the samba school, because the name is school, but it's not for learn theory. It's to learn the practice. Okay.
Cool.
Excuse me, Andre.
Two questions, Macha,
Andre?
and then Tatiana's also asking, what's your samba school growing up after Macha?
Sorry.
Oh, ask my question first.
Yeah.
Okay. Just like Pablo mentioned, the tambourine patterns are very complex. I want to know how they are constructed. Is it that the section leader sits down with the singer and they figure out the pattern, or is it like trial and error? I mean, how do they come up with these amazing patterns that mesh with the song so well?
So, in Carmelitas, I was master with another guy, the name Renan, and we had the lyrics. Renan, in the summer schools, the director, the tambourine director, who are the person who are responsible for the tambourine group, he together with the master decide, and it's something like they go listen the song and playing and see what match with the lyrics, because tambourine, the second part, it's kind of tricky, because sometimes you can, because it's so loud, you can like, if the it's not like together with the melody, sometimes can not sound very good. Do you understand? But they try, and they can change, like in the first months, they can change one part or the other. So in the bloco, in the street band, that we had like 1 month to practice, we kind of create, we record, and we send to every one of the tambourine players, and Renan kind of creating one way to write. He put the lyrics, and he make like use the keyboard to make some points in the lyrics, like subida, and he writes subida, and if after the subida has like 2 hits, like he put subida and whatever is in the melody, in the lyrics. The 2 hits, he put 2 hits. He puts 2 lines. And we also vocalize some things. Toca de tatu. Toca de tatu. And gata que dá. Toca de tatu. Gata que dá. And we put this, we write, and people like understand. And there is some things that are common, like afoxé. Afoxé, everyone know, like everyone who plays. You can put like short afoxé. If you put in the middle, people will. But this guy who was master, and I helped him, and after we was like together conduct the tamborim of Carmelitas. He did, but in Samba school sometimes they don't have anything, but they record and you listen until, and then you play until you like memorize. Okay, so this is tamborim. Let me go to repique. We have a little bit of time, and I'm open for questions. So this instrument.
Oh, just a quick question, André. Tatiana was asking. What was she asking? What was your Samba school growing up?
My Samba school is Estácio. Estácio de Sá, and so it's the first Samba school. The name changed. It was Deixa Falar and changed for Unido de São Carlos and Estácio de Sá. And this Samba school is very traditional, but because of politics and different things, they are very long time, like in the second group. Sometimes they go to the first, sometimes they go back, like next year they go back, and they are like this, go up, go down, and so, but it's very traditional. One tip, wedding band, be careful, because you cannot play sometimes with the wedding band, and you put in the pocket and you lose. Always have one carbine to lock in your keys, or put in some safe place, or leave at home. Okay, otherwise you have trouble. Let's talk about repique. This repique is I don't have here in US. Juan Magna, my friend, he like I am using his instrument. Thank you, Juan. I don't know if he is watching or not. I don't think so. He couldn't, because he said he will be watching. But anyways, this instrument you do rhythm, like when you do, I put the surdos. You do the 40 notes. 60 notes, sorry. It's 3 hits with the drumstick and 1 with the hand. Speed, you kind of let me put down, I think you cannot see very well. So you kind of leave, you do like connection, the notes. This is the way we play like the rhythm with all of the instruments. You can listen here. In the loop. And this instrument also, there is another thing this instrument do. This instrument do like what we call chamada or subida, and all of the bateria will start after the subida. And the most basic one is like this. And then the surdo, all of the bateria will start. Boom, 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 boom. And fast like. This is the way, and this instrument is loud and everyone can listen. Sometimes in the big samba schools there is like 3 or 4. In the small samba school is 1 or 2 guys who play the same thing the same time. They count 1, 2, 3, 4. And all of the bateria will boom, boom, boom. I have one audio here, you can listen. Subida. I'll put again. Did you hear the subida first and then all of the instruments going? He did like with double notes. But you can do with simple. And also, these have like a solo. Sometimes in the samba schools, this instrument have like a solo. All of the bateria stop, and this guy like do a solo. And they do like what we call question and answer, chamada e resposta. And I can do like, and everyone do dum dum dum, and everyone do dun 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 because I did this. So the guy in general starts like playing the basic, the rhythm, and then he do some variations, and he do the call and answer. So it's, I'll do one example. The rhythm, now with the variation. And then he do the call and the answer. He can do like. Something like this, and all of the instruments answer. This is the, you will also, if you go to some samba school, you listen also. So these are the instruments, the main instruments of samba school. Let's review. We have the first surdo, the second surdo, third surdo, and caixa, so making the rhythm. The first surdo is the beat, the third surdo is the balance of the thing, because if you do only tum 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 tum, it's not samba. Okay, samba you need to balance. Dum 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 dum. And the caixa will give the rhythm and the characteristic of the samba school. The repique will help in the rhythm and do the solos and do the chamada. Tambourine will play this first part, the rhythm, and second part do the variation. And chocalho will play the rhythm, the first part, second part or stop or do some variation, but small, not very big. Frigideira in general part all, and they stop in the second part. Cuíca play all the time. They play like poo 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 pa poo poo pa pa poo 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 pa poo poo pa, and the cuíca. And agogô. I don't have my agogô here, but I can put one agogô here so only you can listen the agogô. Very quick. Uh, So, I told you there is some notes in the agogô, and they play like the basic one for Império Serrano is the small one to the big one. Den 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 tom 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 pom pom bam 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 pom 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 and pom 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 bam 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 pom 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 bam bam pom 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 and give like this more layer. You put layers in the samba and the bateria. You put layers. This is basically what happened, and you have these instruments playing together, everyone the same song, and you have also one person singing and one person playing some harmonic instrument, one or two or three. In general, cavaquinho, one Brazilian small instrument, looks like a ukulele but it's different, and one guitar. Can be 7 strings or 6 strings, or can be both. Okay, this is the music part of the samba school. Bateria, one singer or one group of singers, and the harmony is these instruments like strings instruments. Okay, so I wanna know questions I can answer. We are like 2 minutes to the what we had like in the schedule, but I don't have problem if we go like 10 minutes, 15 minutes if you need to answer the questions and show some things if you want. Okay.
Okay, can I go? I had a question about the rehearsals. So when you're having the rehearsals, I mean, you have like sectionals and you have the whole band together. How does the rehearsal process start if you only have like you were saying, the smaller groups only have a month? You're muted. We can't hear you.
Você tá no mudo, André. A gente não consegue te ouvir.
Now I unmute. So you first like start like with the group in general, surdo, caixa, repique. The 3 surdos, caixa, repique, they play together always. Always when you do the rehearsal, in general, you do together all of this. Only the repiques that are the guys who or the girls who play like the solo or the chamadas, they have like a particular rehearsal. But the group, everyone for the rhythm, for the heavy percussion, marcação pesada, they play together in one day the week. Can be like Tuesday at 8, and then everyone go to the samba school, to the place, and in general is like a big area that you have many places to store things and storage instruments, and then you can do the parties and wherever. And bateria has one room to put the instruments, and they have one space to rehearsal. And tamborim, chocalho, cuíca, agogô, they kind of have their own rehearsal. In the same day, in general, they go through the split, then they rehearsal what is, and put everyone together, and they rehearsal like 1 more hour, everyone playing what they will play in the Sapucaí. And one very common thing before, the big schools, they had like in the weekends they can go to the Sapucaí, is this place that is the parade in Rio, or in São Paulo is IMB. And then they can like parade for for their community, for their fans. It's for free. They open and you can go and watch. Then it's a previews of what they will do, but without costumes. It's just they have like one t-shirt, like, but not the big costumes and not the cars. They have like the groups doing this and the bateria. Okay. And questions? Juliani, Macha, Tatiana, Bob, Família da Cruz. Questions?
Família da Cruz.
How old were you when you started playing?
How old?
Yeah.
So in the summer school, I was like 17, 18. But before I play at home, I play with my friends, I play with my cousins. But the first year I played in samba school was I was like 17. It was 1 year before the military, and the year of the military I play, and then I leave the samba schools, and I play only in blocos, the street band, and I play 2009. Carmelitas was my first year, and 2019 was before I come here. It was the last year for now. And I played 10 years in blocos, and I played 1 year. I played 9 different blocos, so it was crazy.
Wow. You must miss that. I miss Brazilian Carnival.
I really miss this, but this year nobody's playing.
Yeah.
Last
So,
year I missed a lot. I saw the videos and I was very like not sad because so I have my goal here. I have my family, but I was like a little bit mellow.
yeah. Well, I mean, I think there's a lot of
And
groups
Vava
here
helped
that
me because Vava helped me because I could play a little bit with. Here we had good, very good like presentations and good things.
That's
Me,
what I was
Macha.
thinking, Baba.
Yes. So,
Yeah.
more questions?
Yeah, I have a question. Oh,
I
sorry.
have a quick question. How
Yeah.
much time do you dedicate to practicing your
How much
instrument?
time? Sorry,
How much
Macha?
time do you put towards your practicing for your instruments in order to build efficiency? How much time do
Myself
you,
or the samba schools?
yourself personally? I mean, how much?
Okay. So when I start, one thing I always say it's very important is you practice. Can be 20 minutes every day. It's better than you practice like 3 hours once a week. Okay. If you have one day 3 hours, you practice, but don't forget to practice 20 minutes every day. This is for all of the instruments, and this I listen from people that play percussion, harmony, melodies, singers, and pandeiro was the instrument like I practice more. So you need to start. People say, pandeiro is very difficult. Yes, it's difficult, but if you practice every day and you start slow, like the basic things is 1, 2, 3, 4. And if you only can do this 20 minutes, you do this 20 minutes. If you can do only this speed, do this speed and put like more a little bit, and then you go and then you will play with more speed and different rhythms. You like play samba, you can play forró, partido alto, frevo, and you can play forró, and So depends of the instrument, depends. But in general, what I say for everyone is at least 20-30 minutes every day, and wherever you have time, if you have 1 hour to play 1 hour.
I have a question for the baterias, and I guess it's different for different size of schools, but
Yes.
um, how is it difficult to be accepted to play as one of the drummers? And is it easy for them to kick you out? How does it work? How do they choose the personnel, the musician? Is
It's
there too many people who come to ask to play and they have to turn people away, or they do not have enough, or how does that work?
So it's kind of sad this, because it's very Bob, you can play a little bit, practice. So it's kind of sad because many people go, like, if you are in the neighborhood of the samba school, you kind of grow up and people know you, and then you play and practice, and if you like are good, you are going through the practices, you will be in the parade. They will give you the costume to be in the parade. But if you are not from the neighborhood but you want to start, you like I because most of my life I don't live in Stas. So I live in Stas 7 years in my life, and then I moved to another neighborhood, and it was like far, but I had like friends over there still, and if I don't know anybody, I can go in the day of the rehearsal and talk with the master, and he will say, in general they say, you can come, and if you are playing with everything and if you have valuable spots, you will like go to the parade. But I cannot say 100%. In general they do this because there is some things that are not correct, because my friends, and they go and they give for the friends, and if you rehearsal all year, and sometimes we don't have the costumes anymore. So for some instruments like caixa, surdo, these instruments, like you play one thing, you don't have like tambourine, the tambourine master, director, he has 20, and he say, this 20, and that's it, and it's the 20 he has only 20 spots. But the other instruments, they can go with 180, 181 to wanna be like a problem. But they have the number of costumes they made for the samba school and the number of instruments they have, and sometimes it's not good. I had one experience not good, like in the last hours, friends, we play all year, and some friends like, you won't have like the costumes, and it sucked sometimes. But I leave the samba school also because of this. I start playing blocos because it's sometimes the bateria is not a good, very good environment. Like, depends of the school. If you are beginner, if you don't know many people, you kind of sometimes they put you in the side, and so this I don't like. It's my personality. It do not happen with me, but I don't like to see people doing this with another people in front of me, and you kind of cannot say much. And so I start going to the blocos because it's all friends, and so it's easier. You have less practice, but also you have like some, you should like be with the group together too. In the carnival you have like one beautiful like presentation for your fans and for everyone, you understand? But it's not like strict. January they start like, you need to be here Tuesday 8 p.m, Thursday 8 p.m for the rehearsal of the community, Tuesday for the bateria, and Saturday for the night, for the party for the Samba school, that they receive money and support the school. And you need to be there three times a week, and at Saturday sometimes finish 3 p.m., 3 a.m. So every Saturday, it's hard. But some people live for this. They are every day in different school, and they go and let me tell you also, small schools sometimes they do not have rehearsal all of this time. Like very small schools like group C, D, because there is many groups like 1, 2, 3. Thank you, Macha. There is like special group B, C, D, A, and these small groups, the Samba schools are like blocos. They don't have money for many things, and people like go, and I play sometimes. We arrive in the day, the guy show us how will be the tambourine, and we talk about how they memorize. I play 1 year with, I had like 6 people together. We went to see the Samba schools, and we start going to talk with people in bateria, and one friend, oh, come here, we have some costumes, and we need tambourine, we don't have, and we, okay, and it's this, and the guy made one thing simple, and we were like the bateria of the part of the bateria. And this is good also to, in the beginning is good to do, like with very small schools, because in general you are not kicked out of the schools.
We'll keep that in mind when we all go get in our samba.
And I think it's time to finish. Pablo?
All right. Well, I want to thank you, André, very much for the workshop. Really appreciate it.
I hope you
and
like it.
So
we have a question here, actually more of a request. I saw Amy request, and now I want to see too. You're playing the pandeiro with like with the finger, when you turn the pandeiro with your finger, right, Amy?
Super important.
But I'm not good with this. I use more time practicing this than practicing this. But there is some people that they have like big pandeiros that. What, Bob?
They can do that. Yeah. Well, I mean, you did it. You did better than I did.
No, Bob, I cannot hear you.
Oh, sorry. Can you make it moan? How do you practice it? Getting your
this?
Yeah.
So
how do you start to practice that?
In general, you like use this finger that you have less control. It's better. Use this finger because it has less control, and then you just put the finger not like
straight.
Yes,
solid.
put the finger straight, but not very
flexible.
Yes, a little bit flexible.
A little bit flexible.
And then you put the instrument to the finger.
Okay.
And this practice too. And then after you do with all the.
Oh, there it goes.
And when you practice a lot, you do this.
Nice.
You humiliated us now.
We're all going to be doing that the rest of the afternoon. Like, why doesn't mine work?
So let me just say one thing. For the malabarismo, or like the juggling acrobatics, I have a good friend of mine. His name is Carlinhos Pandeiro de Ouro.
Oh, yes.
And he also received the National Endowment for, I think, Humanities or the Arts. He received their fellowship sort of tradition. It's like their largest award for folk musicians. And I put in the chat, if you want to see, he's one of the guys who developed that type of spinning on fingers, but he's very good. He would throw it in the air, put it under his legs. It's like a whole art. And so if you want to see that later, you can also just put Carlinhos Pandeiro de Ouro. It's a golden tambourine in Google, and you can see some really amazing amazing movements that he did. Also, let me just tell everyone here. So for those of you that are in the DMV area, we will eventually transition to also having our own bloco, EducArte bloco, with André, who will be the leader. But we're looking towards the summer when we can practice outside, and who knows what's going to happen in the future. But eventually we will have some sort of jam session or bloco, and André will be leading this. In the meantime, there's also Vava. He left, but Machá is the president of Vava, and they're also a really cool, really fun Samba school. So I don't know if they're meeting right now because of COVID, but
no,
there's some opportunities.
They are not meeting now, but they were practicing the beginning of the winter, but it was too cold to be out playing, and you cannot. But they practice fall in the park, and so you can contact Machá. It's easy to find on Google, like Vava, VA Samba School, and then you can easy find Machá and contact the Samba School. And then we will start to, and we will send to everyone that participate of these workshops when we start as well. And my email is over there for any question. If you need, I don't remember the name of this thing, or I don't remember, or you have some some information about where I can see one video or things like this, you can send me one email. I will answer as soon as possible, and I see my email almost 3-4 times a day, and I answer fast. Okay.
Great. So
where's your email?
It's in the I put
in the
it
chat.
André. It's my name, André. The last name Coelho 22 and gmail.com. André Coelho 22.
One last thing, for further resources, if anyone's interested in pandeiro or percussion lessons, you can email André Coelho directly. Or if he's unavailable, you can email me. I'll put you in touch with pandeiro or percussion teachers. We also have on here 2 people who are actually going to be featured on EducArte. Amy, who's here with us. We're gonna interview Amy, and you can go to our website .org, and we'll have the dates and the times. It's going to be a live discussion on StreamYard on Facebook and YouTube. And João Fênix, who's here, he's muted, but he's going to do a really, really cool workshop on clave rhythms, the hidden rhythm in musica in the diaspora. I don't know if he's here, but he's also going to do a great workshop. I recommend everyone if you're not signed up for our newsletter, go to our webpage, sign up for our newsletter. You get all the information. All our workshops and all of our programming is free too. So everyone is welcome. We don't turn anyone away. And if you can, let everyone know about it. Otherwise, I want to thank all of you also for being here.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. It was awesome.
Yeah. And I look forward
everyone.
to seeing Amy and João Fênix.
Yeah.
Yes. Keep the eye on Pablo, because he always have something good to show us.
Absolutely.
Bye-bye, guys.
Thanks, everyone. Have a great weekend.
Thank you, everyone.
Bye, y'all.
Bye.
Thank you.
Tell Baba. Baba one day will do a workshop with us too, I hope.
Yes. I hope.
Obrigado. Obrigado.
Huh?